Hey everybody, welcome to yet another edition of Wednesday here on ChronoSpeakeasy.com. I'm Paul, joined with Chandler.
Hello!
Just two guys hanging out on a Saturday.
Saturday is for the boys.
Oh yes, that's true. That's I'm pretty sure that's in the Bible. I think it's a letter of St. Paul to the Corinthians.
Look it up.
It's not cited enough, but it's there. Yeah. Everyone's always quick to point out the Ten Commandments, or, Jesus' resurrection. Mm-hmm. It's an excellent case in how to offend Christians in the span of, 40 seconds.
Are you wearing blended fabrics? You're going to hell.
Yeah. It's okay, because I feel like I can get away with it because I'm Catholic and I paid my dues.
Every day of your life.
Oh, yeah. For sure. Yeah, actually, and I'm pretty sure back in Catholic school it was frowned upon that I was reading comic books. And I had the sixth grade teacher, Miss Davies, and I was always goofing off in class. I'd draw pictures and stuff, and so eventually she reassigned my seat so that I would sit in front of her. And then it got so bad that I had to push my desk so that our desk would connect so she could always see what I was doing. And I think prior to that, So I think prior to that, I think what got me to have my desk connect to hers was I was drawing a picture of Spider-Man. Mm-hmm. And dude, I was so proud. I had the slip punk rock or Hail Satan thing going on, and he was in mid swing, and he was getting some random burglar, and I thought, oh man, this is so good because the webs are on point on the costume, and I'm doing the Todd McFarlane spaghetti looking web, the web slinging action, and I had the crook is wearing a ski mask, and I was even doing little lines on the fabric. I thought this shit's gonna get me a job at Marvel. And then she yelled, "Mr. Lyons!" And I jumped, and my pencil went straight through the drawing and just cut it psst. And that was a poor ripping sound. That sounded like, I don't know, somebody peeing real quick. They're in a rush.
That sounded wet.
It was a combination of my tears. She was like, Spider-Man will not help you get through this class. And I was like, I wish he would. So yeah, that's my memories of Catholic school.
If they were that crazy about Spider-Man, I wonder how they took the whole Pokemon craze when that came out.
Oh God, I think
it's demons.
That was Pokemon. I think was slightly after my time, but I remember the big thing that was sorry, I snapped a bunch of things over. I remember yo-yos were banned. Remember, there was a huge yo-yo craze. Yeah. Everybody was fucking yo-yoing it up, and yo-yo and Pogs. I remember Pogs were banned at one point because older kids were swindling younger kids. He stole my deluxe Pog and my slammer. And I remember, and actually this ties into comic books as well. As I remember, a buddy of mine had a Pog maker. And he used, but it was like a hole punch where basically
I was thinking what was it like?
Yeah, it was you would slip an image underneath and you press down and there'd be now this hole that was on the page and printed on your Pog. But he was taking actual comic books oh, this is a cool bit, and make it into a Pog, and I'm like, dude, you're gonna regret that. Maybe not, because I'm sure the comics were worthless anyway, but still I remember being Jesus, I remember being at his house going through his comics, and it was just it almost looked like it was so cartoonish, the random perfect holes, it was like a cartoon termite had invaded his comic collection.
Swiss cheese.
Golly
gee.
Pogs. Can you imagine what that conversation was like? Hey, we need to win that next toy craze. I know. Let's just take a bunch of circles, and you gotta throw them on other circles.
We had Gigapets. That was a thing that was confiscated a lot, which were little Tamagotchis.
Oh God, yeah, I remember those.
And we had, it was a baby bottle pop ban because you shouldn't be sucking on bottles. You're 10 and 8 and 9, not babies. It's like, okay.
Jesus.
And of course, Pokemon cards. Then transferred to Yu-Gi-Oh cards. And,
I remember Pokemon being huge. Like, kids would have fucking binders, and they would have, like, the plastic pages to put the cards in. That was nuts. I for some reason, I didn't get into Pokemon. And I don't know if it was just because I was just maybe too old at that point. It was sort of like I had just missed the Power Rangers craze. Like, I remember trying to get into it, but I remember telling someone, it's almost like they film one part in the States and then all the fighting stuff in Japan, because like the film just didn't look like it matched.
That's too much.
And so I'm like, that's the most retarded fucking gayest thing I ever heard. I'm like, yeah, but why does it look so different? Like you could tell the American like television production was like, it looked great, and then like it cut to the Japanese version. It felt like it was like a few years behind.
Yeah, like the suits are shiny.
Yeah, it was almost like they were just taking stock footage and then just like, we'll just write around these action bits and also like the body types didn't look right either. Like, like I don't think like that doesn't look like him. I mean, like, I don't know. Like, these are the random things you pay attention to when you're a kid.
Pink Ranger has some really broad shoulders.
I know, and all I could think of, and I think this is also when I was ruining it for people, when I would say, how is it like the Power Rangers aren't like outlawed? Like, because the city is demolished every fucking week. You imagine like here we are, like we're rededicating City Hall for the 9th time, and then a giant fucking pig in like a Greek gladiator helmet comes charging through, and it's like, what the fuck? We're gonna go bankrupt.
Yep, just adding more names to the memorial.
Oh my god, I know.
That die
like every street corner is a new memorial. Oh, there was a time where that giant ladybug with the lasers came into town, and
it was bad.
I remember just being like, Jesus, like at least like with Batman, they would kind of take a break, like like the degree of property damage would like change from like cataclysmic to like maybe a warehouse burning down, or maybe like a car. But I was like, man, I think that's where I learned Monster of the Week.
Yeah, one of the early adopters, I guess.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I remember getting Power Ranger toys. I remember there was like a button where like it was like a piece of plastic, almost like a square, and there would be like one head with a helmet and the other head that was just the head, and they would like flip, like there'd be like these cases in the chest where it would allow like the heads to like spin,
big
and
barrel-chested action figures.
I remember thinking, Jesus Christ, this is like disturbing. Like like at least now the action figures, they come with like alternate heads that you can put on there, but just like the flip action was like, Jesus Christ.
Are they the same person?
His chest just ripped open. And
Power Rangers got real sci-fi.
I know, damn it. Yeah, it's like fucking. It's like it becomes like a David Cronenberg movie where I learned body horror. Good times. What were some of the things like? Do you remember more of like the action figures that you just could not live without? Like, do you remember that? There's a point in your life where your very existence depended on either a piece of plastic or a book. Because I was in Barnes & Noble today, and there was a kid having a fucking temper tantrum. And the mom was trying, and I give a lot of credit to the mom, because she was trying to teach him reason. And it wasn't working, because he was like, and just being like, do you need this? Do you need this? Like, you need to sleep, or you need to eat. Like, it was just like, this kid was inconsolable. And the only thing I was like, shoot her! I know, shoot her! Like, I need this. It's like, I mean, granted, bear in mind, I am an adult figure collector, but like, anytime I see something, I'm like, I don't have the money for it now. Either I'll get it on Amazon or eBay. But when you were a kid, do you remember any instances where you were like, I'm gonna fucking die?
Well, actually, it wasn't really me that was more to action figures. It was my brother, my older brother. So he collected a lot of like WWF action figures, some Power Rangers stuff too, but like mostly wrestling and like Marvel. and that kind of stuff. I was more just like Game Boy games, Pokemon cards. Yeah, I guess I like the I had the Power Ranger morphers a lot. Those I collected a lot of those. Those were super fun, but they were really expensive, so I couldn't always get them. But yeah, nothing that was like super. It was mostly just Pokemon cards. So I was like fiend. I was like the proper generation demographic age for Pokemon when it came out. So like I was all up in the craze. So that was like my thing.
So it sounds like you were pretty easy to shop for. I think I don't think your parents were like, fuck, if I don't get this Tickle Me Elmo, Chandler's gonna start drinking again.
No. I was a pretty chill kid.
Yeah, I apparently was not, and my parents to this day love to fucking bring it up. Like they'll no, because like every year I wanted this one thing, and it was always fucking hard to get, and it was just like, and this is before eBay, so you'd have to go store to store to store to store. But to my parents' credit,
years you go all the way.
Yeah. Yo, seriously, yeah. Yeah, but every year my parents always pull through though. But I remember, God, there was like, I remember when the new Adventures of Batman came out. I remember when it was a little bit more, like it was like the fourth season of the animated series where the costumes and the animation was a little bit more sleek, like not as detailed. Like, like the Joker went from like the yellow teeth and red lipstick and green hair to just like a weird like toothpaste blue. Mm-hmm. And there was like there's no lipstick. Yep. So I remember I wanted that Joker, and it was like couldn't find it anywhere. And I remember like my parents saying that they were just looking everywhere, and they were like talking to people at the fucking loading docks, and like just being like, oh yeah, there's only one Joker per box, so you get a 25 Batman and one Joker, and but my parents they did it, they pulled through, and I feel bad because after probably weeks of hunting this thing down, I probably like threw it away. Like as I
forgot about it.
Yeah, like I don't know. I could not tell you where that thing is now. And I remember the other big thing I wanted, and I was a little bit older. Like I was going into like, I think I was in like junior high or coming out to freshman year of high school, and Sleepy Hollow. Oh, and I remember it was Sleepy Hollow, the Tim Burton film. And it come out in November of '99, and I remember there was a Todd McFarlane Sleepy Hollow set, and it was like the Headless Horseman on the horse, and it came with like the weird tree and shit, and apparently that was another one that my family were like, you don't know what we fucking went through to get that for you.
Well, it turned out great. So
yeah.
It was worth it.
Absolutely. And I'm actually here playing with a little Black Panther figure.
Oh, nice. I'm looking up images of the new Batman Adventures.
Oh, yeah. No, I remember...
Oh, that was the episode with the calendar chick. I remember that. That was a very cool episode.
I just, like... I mean, and that was the episode that featured... Or that was the season that featured Mad Love, which was like the whole Harley Quinn origin explained. Which, to this day, is a pretty damn good episode.
Gonna watch it now.
Like, I think it did it. Like, I wish Suicide Squad had paid more attention to that episode than anything else, because what they were able to accomplish in 22 minutes versus.
We should dip into a movie. That'd be cool.
I think it would be cool. It was so well done, and there's this. I mean, it's just like explaining about how. Well, first of all, you kind of get, a more depth of just how unhealthy that relationship is. I mean, he was like abusive, and but it really, like, they had the tones of Harley just really being really undersexed, and like just like wanting physical
poor girl
affection from the Joker. Like, there's this whole bit where she comes out in a 90 and she's like, hey Joker, you want to rev up your Harley? And Joker's like, leave me the fuck alone. I'm trying to drop a plan to kill Batman. And he like fucking kicks her, and he like kicks her out, and she's like reminiscing about like the good old days when they first met, and like just how the Joker like kind of seduced her and was like very charming, and he had painted this whole picture about how he was the victim crying out for help, a boy who never grew up, and And yeah, and then um, at one point, Batman tells Harley, like, oh, like, did I tell you about, when his dad, like, broke his lip when they were at the carnival? And she's like, no, you told me it was at the circus. And, like, kind of breaking that illusion because he was telling the same story with different variations. Almost like, how did I get these scars in Dark Knight? It was kind of like that.
Yeah.
But the real heartbreaking moment was when Joker like fucking throws her through a window, like, because she was like, oh, I had to find a way to make it up to him, so I'm gonna use one of Joker's plans, and she pulls it off. Like, she captures Batman, and the whole thing was that like they were gonna feed him to piranhas, but the Joker never could do it because he couldn't get the piranhas to smile, and she's like, well, if you hang him upside down from that angle, it looks like they're smiling. And he was like, no, if you have to explain it, you've ruined the joke. And like, he even like starts taking Batman down. He's like, I am so sorry. I just don't know what to do with her. Like,
Interns, am I right?
Yeah, right. And then like, he fucking chucks Harley out a window, and when she lands like in a dumpster, she's all fucking cut up and bleeding and bruised, and she's like, oh, my bad. Like, I should have thought about why that didn't work. And it's like, man, she is just so like in it with the Joker, and so yeah, I'm sorry, I just did like a one-man review of Mad Love, but you should still watch it anyway, because
no, that was great.
Yeah, it's good stuff. So yeah, so when I was a kid, I really wanted the emotionally abusive Joker action figure.
Don't we all want an emotionally abusive figure in our lives?
God, did you hear that there was some petition?
I was just going to talk about that.
To make the Joker gay?
Yeah. I don't know.
Well, it's funny because I remember years ago I was watching Dark Knight Returns with a friend of mine, and I was commenting how blatant or blatantly homosexual the Joker is, just like totally in love with Batman, and my friend speaking with was gay, and she was saying how that she was kind of getting tired of homosexuality being like the source of evil or being the antagonist in stories, and
but
yeah, I mean, I just didn't. I don't. I mean, honestly, and for those who don't know, I am a straight white male, so I know that my perceptions could be off on this. But I always kind of liked that, even if the Joker didn't want to physically have sex with Batman, I just loved the idea that he was just like entranced by Batman, just like loved him, like that it was just like this great relationship they had of this, like, oh, well, I rob a bank, and then he comes and gets me, and we fight, and I go to Arkham, and I break out, and we do it again, and I always liked the idea that the Joker did love Batman.
I would just took it as like a psychopathic obsession, which is totally like fine. I don't like. I mean, like, as a black gay guy, it's like I don't care. I don't think that needs to happen. But like, I mean, I guess representation's cool, but at the same time, it's like you don't always have to like make established characters gay for like drama purposes or things like that.
Yeah, well, I think I've always hated. I mean, I'm all for diversity. I just hate it when these companies treat it like it's a box to check off. I think, I mean, on the one hand, I love it because I think it all comes down to how it's done, because I love that Bobby Drake, Iceman, is gay. I thought that was done well, because it didn't feel as jarring. It wasn't like, whoa, what's going on here? Like, it just was really well done. So if you can do it like that, I'm all for it. But I just think, rather than taking pre-established characters, why don't you just make new ones?
Mm-hmm. Well, the problem with that is like people don't really read or care about the new characters if they're not written well.
Yeah, well, that's true. And again, it all comes down to how it's done. I think if you maybe, I don't know. I think like the secret to comics, I think, is just sort of like, at least when it comes to new characters, if they're introduced in an ensemble, And over time, you build up the role and like build up, their role on the team or their backstory rather than just like, bam, new issue of Lesbo. Just just introduce them gradually. Because you look at all the great characters that started out like that. Like, look at how beloved Kitty Pryde is, and and in the beginning, she was just like a high school kid who like really didn't know what to do with her powers. Like, you look at how long she didn't not say how long, but there's a few issues where she didn't even have like a costume. And then when she did, she couldn't even go on like field missions yet. And a lot of things that she did where she was sort of a victim of circumstance. Like, oh, everyone's out on a mission and a demon comes to the Xavier Mansion and I'm all by myself. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if any of that just made sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. I guess it's not a counterpoint really, but like as like an example of like a diversity character quote who like checks off the boxes, like the new Ms. Marvel, like she was definitely kind of like introduced as like on paper it's like she's a legacy character sort of. She has the same name as Carol Danvers' Ms. Marvel, but I think the difference with her is that she was kind of introduced. She kind of like has her own space to operate in, like in New Jersey, and she's not like taking the place of the original Ms. Marvel. She's kind of fulfilling her own niche. She has her own supporting characters. It just feels more organic and like crap. I forgot what I was gonna say, but yeah, basically that.
No, and that's true too. I think just throwing Kamala Khan into the mix like that. That was well done too, and that's just another example of just like the good writing because she's, for me anyway, Kamala Khan is so likable, and then that first issue you just immediately like love, that character and like you're down for more, and that was well done for her, sort of, kind of taking on the Miss Marvel name without just sort of feeling like that it was forced.
Yeah, she's like doing her own thing, which is like cool. Like
that whole mosaic.
I never even got into that. What was that about? Is that even
Well, here's the thing. He was a black superhero, but like who didn't have like a body, and so he would sort of like go into other people, and I'm like
Sleepwalker,
sort of, but it's like, what is the point of having diversity if this dude doesn't even have a body and just goes into other people?
It's super diverse because he can go to different people.
Yeah, we can. Yeah, the black character can go into a gay Latino and boom, we got the Latino and the gay community there. Boom, done.
Combo.
Next, yeah. Next, what's the next idea? God, I don't know. Yeah, it's like diversity. It's like can be done well, or it's just like painful to look at. Like, remember, what was that chick in X-Men? Sand.
Dust.
Dust. Yeah. I'm from the Middle East, so of course you can fucking just turn into
She's
sand.
a cool character though, but it's just like they just weren't even trying. They were just like, oh, Middle Eastern person. Oh, she's like in like a hijab. Oh, she also could turn into sand because like the Middle East is a desert region. We're just cranking it out.
Yeah, God, it would just be funny to see that on all fronts. Like, oh, and then we have Leprechaun, whose power only activates when he's shit-faced, and can shoot like fucking
rainbows and gold.
four-leaf clovers and like just, or I don't know.
Yeah, they should have consulted with someone first.
That'd be great if there like was a department at Marvel or DC where they could go to for guidelines on how they can make a culturally appropriate character without it being stereotyped. Like I remember hearing about the.
We talked about that in one episode, like the "Can You Not" department.
Yeah, the "Can You Not." Yeah, seriously. Well, you look at the Cosby Show, and I remember that they were going to great lengths to show a healthy African American family. Mm-hmm. They're really trying to sidestep all the stereotypes and try to present images that that people should see, especially for younger, black audience, and it's Marvel should do that, or DC, and rather than just like, I don't know, forcing this character on us and making us like it.
Yeah, I think they try in a way, like when they hire like diverse writers.
That's
like,
true.
That helps. Like G. Willow Wilson, who's like a Muslim and also like woman. Like
right.
She's like really killing it on Ms. Marvel. Like it's amazing, and like she's really showing like different perspectives. And like I remember reading one of the letters in the letters column. Like one reader was saying like there's like in one issue where Kamala and like her mom are arguing about something, and like the person the letters column wrote, I read this issue and like as I was reading it, my mom and sister were legit having the same exact argument. Thank you.
That's
is amazing.
Awesome.
So it's like getting those like different perspectives are like really great, and I think that's why it's important to hire like diverse writers.
Yeah, and I think and just all across the board, and and I know we've talked about this a lot, but I think it's worth repeating where they really got to bring in like the slice of life moments.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, rather than just...
it's like the theme of past year. Slice of life, we need more of that.
Yeah, just... I don't know, because that's really relatable. I mean, I don't know how many people can relate to fucking fighting supervillains, but, fighting villains and worrying about your midterm,
That's real.
Yeah, or like what your parents are gonna, your parents are gonna do if they find out you're skipping school because you're, trying to save the world. I love that shit. Love it. That's why actually, Mark and I were talking one day about Ultimate Spider-Man, and I reread the first 2 issues, and it's so funny to look back on because, and I still think it's a great comic, but man, when I was 15, that shit was like poetry. Like it spoke to me. I mean, that was just like. Ultimate Spider-Man was like my Catcher in the Rye. Like, I was like, oh my god, Peter Parker's like my Holden Caulfield, like I get, yeah, oh god, his character speaks to me. Even though, like, yeah, I mean, it's so funny though when you read some of these characters and you go and you look back and like, wow, Peter's kind of a dick sometimes, and like, why did I like... I don't know. I mean, I still think it's, good. And I think, because a lot of the success of the Spider-Man movie, they take hints from what Brian Michael Bendis did. But it's just funny. I forgot Uncle...
It's my Catcher in the Rye.
Yeah. I fucking forgot about Uncle Ben having a ponytail. Like he's like a total hippie.
Oof. Early 2000s, man. Bare midriff and ponytails.
Oh, God. Yeah, so much of that. And just, yeah. There are some things though that like, I really love. I mean, just the fact that like Norman Osborn had like a contract from S.H.I.E.L.D. and he was trying to replicate the Super Soldier Serum. Mm-hmm. And, Bruce Banner tried and that backfired, and Norman Osborn took some notes from Banner, which explained why he was turning into the Green Goblin, because there was some elements of Banner's experiments. That's what I loved about it. And,
like everything's kind of like tied into the Super Soldier Serum, even like in the 616 universe.
Yeah.
With like Weapon X program.
Yeah, no, I mean, I just, I always like the idea to like, man, even after all of these decades, nobody can get it right. But
yeah.
Yeah. That's good stuff. But yeah, but no, it is funny to go back though and just read some of that. That's like, Jesus Christ. Like, if I thought...
Enjoy the cringe.
Oh, God. If I thought this... I mean, don't get me wrong. I still think it's good. Like, I would buy... I would totally buy the omnibus and, read it again, because there are some great... I mean, I love the art. Midriff and all. But yeah, it's like, when you hear a song you haven't heard in a long time, and it just like, you just time travel back to when you were obsessed or when you first heard it. I feel like Ultimate Spider-Man was that. And I was like, oh man, there was a lot of like pimples and, self-loathing and longing for a girl in high school, and, a lot of shitty music I was listening to. I'm on the outside.
That's not shit's good.
Oh, Christ. I feel old. That was 2000. I was a freshman in 2000.
I was like in 5th grade.
Jesus. That's so funny to think, like, back, oh, Paul, someday you're going to be friends with this kid. I'm like, really? He's so little.
He's so itty bitty.
Am I going to be babysitting him? No, he's going to be your bodyguard, Paul. Oh my god, that's amazing.
It was like a shot-for-shot remake of that music video. It was just me and you.
Oh my god, that's amazing. I want to fund that plan because, yeah. Oh my god. But I remember and it's a lot of like wire work and CGI.
Yeah.
God. Speaking of wire work and CGI in high school, I remember, that was when Spider-Man came out too. It was like the next year, 2001 or something like that. And I remember that shit blowing me away too.
It was great, yeah. Like, in hindsight, it's not so great, but it was great when it came out.
Yeah, you watch it now and it's like, oh. Yeah, it's like, because I remember
gritted teeth for 2 hours.
Well, yeah, because I remember, like, when it came out on Blu-ray, I was like, I want to own this. This is good. And there are some parts that argue. Some of the CGI though, and that's not aging well. And you look at
a lot of it.
No, I'm sorry. I was gonna say, and then you look at Green Goblin. Like, what? It's like he's like in a green astronaut suit.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know.
This is the early 2000s, man. They were midriff ponytails and astronaut suits.
It's sad because I love Willem Dafoe, and I feel like he really didn't need a helmet. He would have been just fine with his green face paint.
Right.
I don't know. There's a part of me that like is still so kind of bummed about Spider-Man 3 that
we will never talk about that.
Yeah. I wish though that like they could do a Spider-Verse movie where they can just sort of like give Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire like the proper send-off.
Can we finish the Rhino fight?
Oh, I know. Yeah, Robo Rhino.
Yeah. Ugh. Yeah. I just wish we got Homecoming like first.
Yeah. But I think it's because of Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield that we can really appreciate.
Oh, for sure.
God.
Spider-Man 3. Rest in peace.
Yeah. Good times. Not really. I don't know why I just said that. I remember
good times circa 2003.
Yeah, and I remember like there's a picture of me and my friends and I when we went out to go see it, and we're standing by the fucking Fantastic Four Silver Surfer movie display, and it's like the Silver Surfer, and they go, "Oh man, this is great! I get Silver Surfer, and I'm seeing Spider-Man 3." It's like I look at that picture, I'm like, man, there's just that poor kid,
so young.
Yeah, so like I was just a what was it? Just a summertime child.
Like, sweet summer child. I like low key liked Silver Surfer though, like that movie. The only problem was like I think it was like Galactus. I think in the technical sense it was good because like the
Silver
all
Surfer,
the characters.
Yeah, sorry.
Those are good. No good.
No, I just love how Silver Surfer looked. Like I thought seeing him fucking glide around and shit. Like when he would just like kind of go through his board. Like I fucking loved that shit.
Yeah, that was dope. Mm-hmm. I just liked it because like I think like we really got to see the Fantastic Four like interact with each other as like so like, there's like a lot of like 2-on-2s like every like combination of like Johnny and Storm or like Johnny and Sue and Johnny and Thing and Reed and Thing and Sue. Like
say
that was really cool.
The Johnny thing, the Johnny Ben dynamic I thought was actually really perfect. I thought that was actually really well done. I just didn't find Jessica Alba one as a blonde.
Yeah, that's
two as a scientist, and I just think like of really you couldn't find one blonde in Hollywood.
Nah, 2003, man. She was like the hot thing.
And then what's his face there, Horatio Hornblower playing Reed Richards. Do you remember that one part of that scene where they're at the club and he's like dancing and his like arms stretched out and he like spins them? I'm like, what the fuck is this?
You gotta keep it wacky for the kids.
Oh god! But in some ways, I feel like it is keeping with like dad moves. I mean, because like Reed Richards is a total dad
square.
Yeah, total. But yeah, I didn't like Galactus being a fart cloud.
Yeah, that was really dumb. They had like the thing going over like the planet, the shadow over the
Yeah.
planet with like his head.
I just,
So dumb.
dude, you know what? It's like sometimes it's okay to go all out. Like I would totally be fine with like a giant fucking dude being like,
Yeah.
I need to feed. Like fuck it, go
Just
for
make
it.
him look scary.
Yeah, you could, man. You could, especially you could do a sick teaser trailer where like you have like the planet Earth, and then on both sides like two purple eyes open. You know,
Ooh,
like
that'd be a
yeah,
good one.
yeah, you could do stuff. I mean, I don't know. I hope Fantastic Four gets a Marvel redo, a Marvel Studios redo, or if anything, even if they don't get their own movie, I think just having them there in the cinematic universe would be nice.
Agreed.
Yeah. So Chandler, if you were given the job of, trying to produce a Fantastic Four film, what would your cast lineup look like?
Oh man.
I know, I kind of just dropped a bomb on you.
I was like, think. I don't really know a lot of like actors. Let's see. I could totally do like a Zac Efron Human Torch. He has like the attitude.
He would be a good Human Torch. Yeah. For some reason, I thought of Zach Braff, and I was like, as Reed Richards?
He could be Reed Richards. Yeah. He could do that.
I think, I think they should approach Reed Richards like they do with Tony Stark. Like, don't get get someone who's like a little up there.
Mm-hmm.
Because Robert Downey Jr. was he was in his late 30s, early 40s when he did Iron Man.
But he also looks great always. So
well, yeah, but he doesn't. But he's not like a 20 something. Right. I think maybe the same rules should be applied to Reed Richards. But I thought I always
you have to make Sue young and hot though.
Well,
to get all those viewers.
You know who I thought would be a good Invisible Woman would be Elizabeth Banks.
Ooh, yeah, I definitely could do like an older Sue and like a younger Johnny and like
because first of all, I think Elizabeth Banks is hot, and
she's gorgeous.
Yeah, and I think that she would be because I buy her as a scientist, and she's blonde. So
yeah, she's blonde.
That's my requirements: act like a scientist, and you have natural blonde hair. Because I think she would be. Yeah, I think she'd be great, Sue Storm. But I love your Zac Efron Human Torch bit. Mm-hmm. I like that a lot. I'm trying to figure out who.
So you're kind of like trying to make them like a little bit like older towards like the middle age, like mid 30s, early 40s as like a group, or like
I think
because they try to make them young in like the recent reboot.
It's
semi young in the first.
It's like don't. I just make them established. I mean, you could have. Yeah, I mean, I feel like Zac Efron is still like young enough where he could pull off like the younger brother, kind of vibe. But yeah,
oh God, who would be the Thing? The Rock, of course.
I mean, it's in his name.
You have to do it right.
Right? Yeah,
just recast Michael Chiklis. It's fine.
And he was a good thing. And one thing I really liked about The Thing was that he was actually there. It wasn't like a CGI thing. The fact that like he was like there in the suit. I don't know. I think sometimes things that are actually happening in front of a camera are like a million times better than.
For sure.
Hell, get fucking the Jim Henson crew. Even if it was just like a giant rock puppet and you got like a voice actor later.
Mm-hmm. Or you like, do the Mystique thing and just find like a big bodybuilder and do like a bunch of like orange scale shit.
Well, too, I was thinking one of the comic movies I think has aged well. Maybe I'll get some crap for this, but Ninja Turtles. Like, you look at that first one and you look at how good the Jim Henson effects are on the Turtles.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like that looks better than the most recent Ninja Turtles, and that's all CGI.
Yeah.
I think
the technology's better, so they can totally make it like the suits better.
Yeah, well, I think what's great about like the that movie versus today is that I feel like you just can't beat the texture. I mean, yeah, the CGI is getting better, but like I just feel like it's so hard to beat something that's actually there in front of the camera where the natural light is bouncing off, like the texture of the fake turtle skin. Like I watch it now and I'm like, I still think it looks real. Maybe that's just me, but it looks a hell of a lot more real than the fucking Ninja Turtle League of Shadows or whatever the hell that was. Out of the Shadows or
Also, it's just harder to act around with like the non-CG characters.
Yeah. Yeah. Hell, even Splinter. I thought Splinter looked good. I mean, I think Splinter looks a little bit more fake than the Turtles, but it's still better than whatever the hell we got. So yeah, Elizabeth Banks, and I'm trying to think what else we could do for the rest of the team. I will say this. I think for the Mole Man, well, I just gave it away. that the villain should be like someone that hasn't been done before, like Mole Man or, Annihilus or, Galactus, if you do that right, make it so that he's, actually like a... Yeah, I don't know. I just think that, like, it's so weird that it's, like, perfect. Like, remember in Ultimate Comics when they were trying to change Galactus, where he was like a swarm?
Yeah, that was cooler than a cloud. But, like...
Right,
yeah.
I'll give you that, cooler than the cloud, but I still like the original giant dude with a giant helmet.
Yeah.
I don't know how to describe that thing with like the
antenna.
Yeah, like the weird looking prongs on the side. I think you can't go wrong with that.
Who would be the Mole Man?
I don't know. I feel like Danny DeVito's a little too obvious.
Hey, whatever. I'm sure you'd do it.
I mean, I think he'd be great. Yeah, I don't know. I just think steer clear of, I like what Kevin Feige is. I like how he's approaching Spider-Man. That they're kind of steering clear of the villains like Green Goblin and Dr. Octopus and doing characters they haven't tackled. I think that's a very smart and good way to go for these
Vulture
movies.
Was awesome.
Oh yeah,
it's like one of my most recent favorite villains, like in a while. Just from a style standpoint.
Yeah, well, honestly, I didn't think we were gonna get anything better than Loki, and I really think that Keaton's Vulture is probably right up there. I mean, I think if anything, just for the motivation.
Yeah.
I feel like the only person who can get away with like not having a motivation is Red Skull, because he is just so like he's like that first generation comic book villain from the 40s where he has a like he can be like world domination, like I'm totally okay with it because it's like with people who like complain about Superman, like, oh, he's too this and that. I'm like, dude, he was one of the first. Superman gets a pass. I mean,
it's really hard to like make him like flawed because his whole thing is just being perfect.
Yeah,
he has strong morality,
right? And that's something I do like about like the relationship with like him and Batman for that reason. So, but I'm gonna have to think about this Fantastic Four thing. You know who I thought would be a good Reed Richards, and this is like back in high school where I was like, oh, if I make a Fantastic Four movie, and why hasn't my voice dropped yet? I totally wanted George Clooney as Reed Richards.
Ooh.
Because he kind of already has like the salt and pepper thing going on, and he's a little bit older, and I buy him and like Elizabeth Banks together as a couple, but I think after Batman and Robin, I don't think George Clooney's going to come back to any comic book franchise.
Nah, he's gone forever.
Yeah. We broke him.
Listeners, if you have any suggestions, like totally like send us some our way.
Oh,
totally appreciate it.
Totes. Yeah, because clearly we're struggling. I mean, like, we're going to have a puppet as the thing.
Skinny, middle-aged white actors. Go, Google, go.
Oh, man. But yeah, I'm totally on board for Fantastic Four being in, like, the shared Marvel Universe. Because you know what I think would be great? An Illuminati movie.
Yeah.
That's if we can still get fucking, Robert Downey Jr. But
do you think Gary Oldman's too old? Well, yeah, he's too old. He could probably be like Stu's father.
I think he would be a good villain. Like I mean, God, he could literally play any villain, and it would be amazing.
Because he said he wants to be in a Marvel movie, so make it happen.
Marvel, seriously, when the universe presents you a gift like that, you take it.
Take it and run.
Hell, he could be a Dr. Octopus, or he would be a good Green Goblin.
Christian Bale would be pretty cool. He can do anything.
Oh my God. Yeah. Christian Bale would be kind of a cool Green Goblin. Because I like the idea of, because we haven't really seen like a younger Norman Osborn. You know what I mean? Like, as far as, I mean, you know, someone who's older than Tom Holland, but not like, you know, Willem Dafoe's age. Like, I think, like, yeah. And, you know, and Christian Bale's got that American Psycho thing down, so why not? Why not? I'm just looking for posts I thought I saw a while back, like somebody who was doing their own casting for a Fantastic Four, and I thought, oh, well, that is interesting. I just have to remember what the name of the thing was called. It'll be gone forever. Forever, ever. Forever, ever. But in the meantime,
Adrian Brody could do like Mr. Fantastic.
Interesting. Like, Adrian Brody.
He's getting a little up there in years, but
yeah. Fine. I don't know why. Whenever I think of Adrian Brody, I just think of that song, Adrian Brody. That was oh God,
gotta look it up.
It was the same kid who did the best part of waking up. And,
the best,
yeah,
the best, the best. Simply the best around. That's if I gotta get it.
I wanna be the best.
Do 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 do.
Yeah,
Neil Cicerega.
Yeah, yeah. If you get a chance, check out the video. It's just Adrian Brody just like walking through different areas. It's pretty amazing.
Watching it right now.
You will not
Brody
regret
Quest
it.
is the name of the video.
Brody Quest, yes.
It's just mesmerizing.
I'm not even watching it and I'm laughing because I'm just like playing it in my head.
Oh, the places you'll go, Mr. Brody.
It's like that song's like, it's like a little hypnotic.
Yeah. Oh, and the Lenny Kravitz Fly Away.
Yeah.
I want a Milky Way. I want to eat the sun. Yeah.
I wanna get away. I wanna fly away.
Yeah, yeah.
God, I wish I knew, because they this company or this person on Instagram, they were always doing like kind of like these fun like fan castings, and they were doing one for Batman, and they had Carl Urban as Bruce Wayne, and I thought, shit, that would totally be down for a Carl Urban Batman.
All right, that's not bad at all.
Instagram.
I keep thinking of Keith Urban. I'm so sorry. But I totally know who Carl Urban is.
Yeah, that's yeah, a little different. But yeah, Carl Urban would be a pretty
No, I had his face, but I was thinking of like Keith Urban.
It's Batman the musical.
Someone said Joe Golev as Reed Richards.
Who?
Jorson Gordon-Levitt.
Oh no!
I say Joe Golev. Or the guy from It's Always Sunny. He has like the face. He has like the face structure.
Oh yeah, I know who you're talking about. He kind of reminds me of Steve Guttenberg from like 3 Men and a Baby. I don't know why. I just always think
cast Steve Guttenberg.
Yeah, hey, you know what? If I get an Always Sunny's can't do it, and then you could get Charlie Day as Mole Man.
Ooh, he'd be a good like erratic, funny one.
Yeah, he'd be a good villain. Although I gotta say, I do love him in the Pacific Rim movies, and by movies I just mean the one that I saw. But I like that he's in the new one.
Oh, Vin Diesel as The Rock, as the Brandon Grimm. That's like too obvious, though.
He's watching going, I am Groot.
You're right. I am thing. Jeffrey Dean Morgan as Ben Grimm. That'd be kind of cool.
That's also an interesting choice. I'm just going through my phone and I'm finding like things that just would not be appropriate. John Travolta as the Thing. Oh my god, I'm a rock. Oh, Susie.
Do Keanu Reeves as a thing.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I am not crazy. I'm like going through my phone. I'm like, I will find you.
I will find him.
Yeah.
I will find him.
My God, he like says that through almost every scene in that movie. It's like, dude, he's right there. You're talking to him. Why?
Zod is blind, guys.
God, that's something else I think about too. Like if they ever have to reboot Superman, who would fill in those shoes? Oh. Okay, hold on. I think it might have been. I think I found it. Hold on. Oh my God, you guys. Oh my God. Oh my God. So I think, Rob, you might do some editing because there's a lot of meandering right now. But who cares? Oh, you know what we didn't get a chance to talk about is the first picture of Brie Larson as Captain Marvel.
Oh yeah, she was pretty cool.
I like it. The green's interesting. I definitely wasn't expecting that, but
yeah,
I think
you might give her like the red, blue, gold at the end of the movie.
Yeah, I think they're just trying to stay in line with the original Captain Marvel suit.
Yeah,
at least that's what I'm thinking. I'm just going.
Some cool promo images from Manipul's Justice League and No Justice.
Okay. Okay. So this is a good one. Patrick Wilson as Reed Richards.
Okay.
For those who don't know, he was Rorschach in the Watchmen movie. No, sorry, he was Night Owl.
Yeah.
Sorry, that'd be a very different Fantastic Four movie.
Still watch it.
Oh, so this Instagram Age of Heroes, they did their own Fantastic Four, and guess who they had as Johnny Storm?
Oh, cool. See? Great minds.
Absolutely. And they also had Adam Baldwin as the Thing. Did you ever see Serenity?
No.
Okay, well, he was in that. It's basically this dude. He would be the Thing.
Oh, I was thinking of Billy Baldwin.
Oh, God.
Freddie Rubble.
Ooh, this would never happen, but this is an interesting choice. Michael Fassbender as Dr. Doom.
Oh, my God, all over. Even Reed Richards.
Yeah. Then they had Andy Serkis as Galactus.
Any, like, non-human character.
Yeah,
Andy
anything.
Serkis.
Like, yeah, he's such a good actor. He just can't play a human.
He can just do all the Moloids and just copy him over and over.
Yeah. I don't know. But yeah, Fantastic Four would be cool. Especially, you got Black Panther. And Black Panther premiered in Fantastic Four. Ooh. I just think that would be oodles of
Fantastic
fun.
Four premiere in Black Panther.
Dude, you know what I hope? I honestly hope that we get to see some Cap and Bucky in the I almost said Blantastic. Black Panther. I was combining
Blantastic Four guys. Rude.
Yeah, rude. That'd be kind of cool. Maybe like a post-credit scene or something.
Yeah.
I love that light there just in Wakanda in the Infinity War trailer. The whole get this man to S.H.I.E.L.D. bit is fucking great.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I like this too. Luke Evans as Namor. He was in like that Dracula movie, and he was also in. He was Bard in the Hobbit movies.
Yeah,
he'd be a good Namor.
Yeah, I support this.
Yeah, much to support. So much. Wow.
He was also Beast in Beauty and the Beast.
Beauty and the Beast. Yeah. Good.
I think I lied. Dan Stevens was Beast.
Oh, Downton Abbey.
Luke
Dan
Evans was
Stevens.
Gaston.
Yeah. Bleep, bleep, blah, bleep, blue.
Bleep, bleep, blah, bleep, blue.
Oh, man. They got some pretty cool casting ideas. Well, first of all, I think it's hilarious that they use Michael Fassbender for everything. Michael Fassbender as Lex Luthor.
He's just a generically handsome guy.
Yeah.
With charisma.
Although, I like the idea of Olivia Wilde as Lois Lane.
Ooh, that'd be cool.
Harrison Ford as Pa Kent.
Okay, sure.
A very grumpy Pa Kent.
Yeah.
Honey, Clark's stuck on the ceiling again. Jesus Christ.
Just like bottle against the wall, glass bottle against the wall.
Yeah. Oh, good stuff. Good stuff and good times all around.
Ooh, I like this alien super team with Superman, Starfire, Martian Manhunter, Sinestro, and Starro.
Interesting.
Sorry, I'm just like looking. There's like a article on CBR with like I guess there's like new teams, Justice League teams coming after some event. It's pretty cool.
It's cool. I like it. Yeah, now I just can't. Now I just can't stop looking at like fan casting.
Yeah, Batman, Beast Boy, Lobo, Lex Luthor, and Deathstroke are on a team together.
Damn.
That's kind of cool.
Well, you know, Batman and Lobo are on the Justice League of America team, and I really like it.
It's like one Teen Titans on each team and like one like 90s characters on each team. And
speaking of Teen Titans, I downloaded Teeny Titans.
You like it?
Yeah, I mean, I just started it, so like I've played a few matches, and now I'm sort of like in like the free roaming part.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's fun. It's like a nice thing to play like absentmindedly.
I don't know. I always like kind of like going left to right as far as like where to go. I don't want choices. And I'm gonna go. Now I'm in a park and I'm talking to this guy and it's like, tell me what to do. Tell me.
Tell me why.
Ain't nothing blah blah blah.
Bloody blue blue.
Tell me why.
I never want you to.
Her name was Martha.
Rosebud was a sled.
Oh, man. Well, in the meantime, Chandelier, what have you been reading this week? Anything good? Anything fun?
Yeah, I've been catching up with Jason Aaron's Mighty Thor with Lady Thor. She's like being called that, but Thor.
Yeah, and that's coming up to an ending soon, isn't it?
It is.
That's what I thought. I thought like all like the Marvel preview stuff that Jane Foster's gonna finally buy the farm.
Oh no!
I mean, it's sort of like I don't want to say it. Sorry, I'll say into the mic.
Okay.
I don't want to say it's like a spoiler because we.
That's fine. It has to come to a conclusion.
I mean, well, but also we got told from the beginning that she's dying.
Yeah.
It's almost like
guys.
It's like it's like when people were upset about the ending of like Breaking Bad, and I'm like, dude, they fucking told you the first episode that like he was terminal.
Yeah.
I just won't go into how, in case you haven't seen it.
It's all about the execution.
Hey!
I'm sorry, guys. But yeah, it's like really great. It's like I mostly primarily read it for the art because like Russell Dowderman is like kills it every issue. It's like so beautiful, so colorful.
Yeah,
just pops off the page. So good. I mean, the story's great too because Jason Aaron's a great writer. But yeah, no, it's a delight. And I never really cared about Thor before this. And like I read the first Jason Aaron run, and then I went into the Lady Thor run, and like, yeah, no, I'm hooked. It's great. I'm so glad I'm reading it.
Cool. Yeah, I do like Thor. I think Thor and Captain America might be like the only two things I'm reading from Marvel right now.
Okay.
I'm having a hard time getting back into it, but I heard Champions is really good.
Yeah, or the first trade. It was awesome.
Yeah. And I like the idea of like the young Cyclops is on a team that isn't the X-Men.
Yeah, because I just like seeing like he's kind of like growing him as like the thing I have to say like about like the all new X-Men, like the time space teams, like they're all becoming like their own new characters, which is really nice.
Yeah.
And I like how kind of Cyclops is being like characterized. Like, it's like in one issue in Champions, like they're stranded on the water and they need to like propel themselves to like a nearby island. So Cyclops just uses his eye beams and like goes all out in the water to like push them forward. And then like Ms. Marvel's like, are you okay? Like, how does it feel? He's like, honestly, like I never get to go all out with my powers, and it actually feels kind of nice. And like that was like such a cool scene with him. And it was like, because usually he's like so angsty about his abilities, to kind of like have him just let loose and like with no repercussions. It was like really cool.
It's something that I think a lot of it gets a lot. It doesn't really. It is mentioned a lot. It is in the beginning, like, you know, with like the Stan Lee, Jack Kirby stuff, and I think it's something that people don't realize, that like he could obliterate anything by looking at it. Like just imagine how terrifying it would be to like kiss the one you love. If anything happens, or just fucking
a sudden gust and your glasses fall off.
Well, yeah, I mean, he can literally with his optic blast punch a hole through a mountain. So if you're gonna go, you know, give your wife a peck on the cheek, you better be careful.
Yeah.
So
I get it.
Yeah, so and everyone's like, oh, Cyclops is so controlling. I'm like, dude, his fucking mutant power is like allegorical to like control. Like,
he can't control his face.
Yeah, I mean, literally, it's like, just stop and think for a second. Like Christian Bale said in that hit dance song, think for 1 fucking second. Shut the fuck up. What don't you fucking understand? I'm gonna fucking kick your fucking ass. Anyway, yeah, I started reading Champions. I'll have to go back and check it out. But yeah, I don't know. I think after Secret War, I think Secret War and then Cap being a Hydra agent, I was like, all right, Marvel, we're going on a break.
Yeah.
I'm gonna see some other comics.
It's not you, it's me.
Yeah, but no.
But it's really you.
Yeah, really. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Anything else you're reading? Sorry, my train of thoughts.
Yes, still working through Astro City. What else am I reading? Black Panther, Old Man Logan. Those are all really good and solid. Might talk about it more in a future episode, but yeah.
Please do. Yeah, I'm still reading Alan Moore's Swamp Thing, which gets progressively weirder. But it's okay. It's okay because I like it. Like, so there's this whole bit where these photos surface. Some nature photographer shoots a picture of fucking Abby Arcane there kissing Swamp Thing, and they get published, and everyone's like, "Ew, TMZ. Great, yeah, oh, it's total TMZ." And she gets arrested for it, and I'm not too sure what the law. It's like bestiality, but with plants.
Miscegnation in my Vertigo comics.
Yeah, and so she goes to jail, and Swamp Thing was elsewhere fighting demons with John Constantine and fucking Etrigan the dragon. No, Etrigan the demon. I almost called him Hagrid.
Basically a dragon.
Yeah. Hagrid.
Yeah, I'm a what?
And he came in. Hello there, Hermione, Harry, Ron, Swamp Thing, Zatanna, Batman. Anyway, I'm sorry. I am so sorry.
Does Swamp Thing actually talk, or is he like telepathic or something?
He can talk.
Okay.
But anyways, he gets back. He finds out that his lady is in prison, and he's like, what the fucking fuck? And so he like goes into Gotham City, because where else would she be arrested and held on trial, and he like destroys the place. Like everything's covered in like green. It's almost like Zero Year. And even Batman's like, you can't do that in my city. And
chill, bro. And
Swamp Thing totally defeats Batman.
Only in his own comic, though.
Of course, Batman. Right? Yeah, and then and even Batman's like, if you think about it, I'm all for justice, but like, what law is she breaking? So finally, and pretty much Swamp Thing holds Gotham City ransom, and until they release, his love. And once they release her, they're like, "Da-na-na-na-na-na." They're about to hug, and then Swamp Thing gets like assassinated by the government by this like this weird thing, because part of what Swamp Thing can do is that if his body dies, he can regrow himself elsewhere. It's actually how he travels. Like, oh, travel in Brazil. His like body dies and he sprouts up somewhere else. Yeah. But whatever this chemical compound was that was used, he can't grow himself again on Earth. So his essence regrows on like another fucking planet, and it's like it just gets trippy and then he's like a weird blue alien Swamp Thing, and he's slowly making his way. Yeah, he's slowly it's like super trippy too. But yeah, slowly making his way back to Earth, and
making my way downtown, walking fast, strangers past.
If I were grow into the sky. So that's what I'm reading now, and of course I'm still reading the classic X-Men. Still in the Chris Claremont run. They're in space again.
Sweet.
With Lilandra again, with all their fucking triangle haircuts, and it's still kind of like, Charles, I love you. Lilandra, I love you. We can't be together, I know, but I love you. I can't walk, but my mind runs through fields for you, and
intergalactic booty call.
Yeah. And it's so great because, speaking of Cyclops, in this run, Cyclops just found out that Corsair, the space pirate with the Star Jammers, is his dad. And Storm knew that it was his dad, but she promised Jean to not tell Cyclops because...
Oh God, the drama.
Oh, it's great. It's great. And then like, it's so funny. There's one bit when it's like awkward car ride where, like, when your parents are fighting and they're not talking, it's like Cyclops driving, Storm in the passenger seat, and Corsair's like in the middle of the back seat. And she's like, and Storm's like, but Scott, I didn't want to hurt you. He's like, I thought you were my friend. And like, he like slaps her hand away. I thought we were friends. And she was like, I know, but Jean was my friend, and she asked me to promise not to tell you, and like
some good soap opera.
And Cyclops was like, you left me and Alex for dead, you fucking threw us out of an airplane. And of course, like, I just thought that was the best thing to do. Also, I didn't come back for you because I thought you were dead. I didn't think you survived. We stupidly only had one parachute. We pretty much velcroed you and Alex together in it and hoped for the best, and then then they fucking kill Scott's mom, and then Corsair's a slave, and then he escapes, and he's a space pirate, and didn't bother to come back to Earth because, too many feelings or whatever. So, so it's just like Cyclops, like, learning to, like,
love again.
Yeah, to especially to love his dad, overcoming the daddy issues, and it's so great because, like, Cyclops like, I didn't grow up with a dad, and Storm is like, do I not know how you feel? I too was an orphan. Cyclops like, fuck you!
Shut the fuck up.
No one cares, Storm. I'm a white male with hair.
I'm like a father to you.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. This is just more of like what I wish they would do in comic books. Like, can you imagine Scott Summers, like, couldn't catch a break, looking for daddies in all the wrong places.
As like, a gay male escort.
Just like, he just didn't have a home. His brother was separated, kicked around from foster home to foster home, thought he found sanctuary with Charles Xavier. Turns out he just wants him for this weird fucking paramilitary like project. And then, wishing on a star, his dad comes. And like, just being like, just can you imagine, like, who are you? I'm your father. This summer.
Lots of fades.
Yeah. Star-crossed family. It's like, son, I was too busy being a pirate and not being your father. Too busy stealing your heart and not gaining it.
Where were you?
Yeah. From the producers of
The Bridget Jones's Diary.
Yeah. Oh God! Or no, what was it? Oh no, what was that movie with like Dennis Quaid and Scarlett Johansson, Topher Grace, like Company Men or something like that?
Oh God, I don't know.
It'd be like that. It'd be like,
Lost in translation.
from the producers of You've Got Mail,
Homeward Bound.
Must Love Dogs, and Hotel Transylvania.
And the Human Centipede.
Oh my God, that is amazing. I hope that there's an X-Men movie someday where like they really do. I mean, I know there's a Dark Phoenix coming out, but I would love to see some space opera shit with the X-Men. Corsair with his like fucking like porn star mustache and like his gold earring and his fucking foxy like
headband.
Yeah, and his like legit foxy fox lady. What was it? Oh God, I'm blanking on her name. It's like Byzantine or I don't know. Anyway, she's a cat.
Oh,
she's like, yeah, thank you.
Oh, sorry.
Like Byzantine?
Close enough.
Sure, Paul. Well, we'll just call her Barbara. So
like
yeah,
my ex-wife.
They're all Barbaras. So that's what we've been checking out this week. And have you started reading Doomsday Clock?
No, sorry.
Okay, well, it's only 4 issues, so they're actually coming up on a break at some point, so you'll have some time to get caught up before all the new issues come out.
Sweet.
But I'd love to talk about that at some point.
Yeah.
Oh, and I watched Gotham by Gaslight, which actually wasn't terrible.
All right. I haven't read or watched it.
It's interesting. I don't want to say anymore, because especially because I haven't read the comic, but maybe I'll talk about that next time. But in the meantime... Y'all know the drill. Drop us some love on iTunes. We're on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Send us some love. WednesdayComicPodcast@gmail.com. Tell us some of your casting ideas, such as who would play us in a Wednesday movie.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Denzel Washington as Chandler.
Leonardo DiCaprio as Paul. And Andy Serkis as the microphone.
Yes. All non-human characters.
Oh, God. Oh, man. Good times. Yeah. Team good times. And as always, enjoy your shoes.